Hello and welcome to Sun Spotlight. I am your host, Charisma, grateful to be back for another episode. In addition to these interviews that I do every Thursday at noon, I also write a weekly column for the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, which you can read on newsstands every Friday. You can also check us out online at www.philasun.com and be sure to follow the Philadelphia Sunday Sun on all social media platforms. Today, I am so excited to introduce you to an incredible woman that I met on my trip to Hawaii. This incredibly kind person created an initiative called Hashtag Choose Kindness, where she does something kind for complete strangers. And I cannot wait for you to hear all about her story. So it is my pleasure to welcome to Sun Spotlight my friend Janna. Hi, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy
you,
Charisma.
Again.
Yes. Yes. It's Almana Beach Park. Nice weather today. A little bit of rainy, but forecast, but still beautiful out there. So,
yeah. So I wanted to tell the folks out there how we met initially and then get into your incredible story. So
okay.
I'm in Honolulu for my cousin's 50th birthday, came to Hawaii and swimming in the ocean, which I love. I'm a fish. And I just happened to meet this woman who is looking for her prescription glasses in the ocean. And she's like, oh my God, I can't find my glasses. I have to go pick up my son. So of course I stop everything I'm doing to try to help you find the glasses. And I really wish that I'd been able to help you find them, but the ocean, took them away.
Treasure's a troll, right?
Yeah, the ocean being a troll. But then I had an awesome time just meeting you, and then had my first ever experience on your motorized board in the ocean. Fell off like 10 times, but it was awesome and I can't wait to do it again. So that was our initial meeting, and then we became friends, fast friends, and have been in contact ever since. So I'm so grateful that we had an opportunity to meet each other, just happenstance, being in the ocean at the same time at the same place. And I got a chance to meet you, which is awesome.
Yes, that was the best part of the day. I forgot about my glasses, but I made a new friend and I was like, yeah, oh my God, and she can sing. Holy moly. Yeah, so your music has really inspired me to do more. And music is healing and it's powerful and inspirational. So thank you,
that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
And speaking of inspiration, you, my friend, are doing some incredible things in the world. The other part of our story has to do with your initiative. So can we talk a little bit about Hashtag Choose Kindness?
Yes, Hashtag Choose Kindness started when I lost my father in 2017. When I did lose him, there was no closure with my dad and me. And I treated him really horribly as a daughter. I wasn't very a good daughter. So, in order for me to cope, I decided to turn a negative into a positive and to become more like my dad, he was a very kind-hearted, giving, generous man. He always put other people first. So to honor him, I decided to be more like him and to choose kindness wherever I go. And that's how it started. And I started to heal that way, and there's this thing called, helpers high, if you've ever heard of that, or wounded healers. But sometimes the most effective people are healers. And the helpers high, otherwise known as wounded healers, are people who have suffered a great deal of adversities, which enables them to feel deeper level of empathy, compassion, and like a strong desire to want to help other people. I guess that's how it all started, and what a helper's high does is it, when you reach out a hand to somebody, you're also receiving. What you give out is what you receive too. So like it secretes this pleasure chemical, I guess, when you do something good for other people, like endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, which is all like drugs that put you into a bliss.
Yes. The happy drugs, they
and
say.
it generates the
Yeah.
happy, the happiness in you, right?
Mhm.
So by doing random acts of kindness, and you're getting those chemicals, but you're also sharing it with the other people, so it's a give and take. So I can't entirely say that the random act of kindness is solely for that person too. It's also for, me as healing. And it's a good therapy and a good way of feeling good about what you do.
Mhm.
And for me, helping other people is what makes me the happiest. It's just doing something good, whether or not it's known to people or not. So a lot of the times I like to do things and just hashtag choose kindness instead of signing my name,
Yeah.
because then it's like,
It's about the
anonymous in a
act.
way.
It's about the
And
act,
it's
not about you. I get it.
yeah, it's about the act.
Yeah.
And it's about my dad, so it's between God, my dad, and me. So when I do things for people, like, it's whether it be a scholarship, or buying somebody lunch, or helping a student pay off their loans, or just spreading something to make them feel good. Like, it doesn't have to be money, it could be a compliment,
It could be
it could
anything,
be,
just
yeah.
bringing joy to other people's life. When you first started the initiative, like, do you remember the first time you said, you know what, to honor my dad, I'm going to do something kind for strangers? Do you remember what that first act of kindness was that you did?
What was it? It was making flasks, like, those Yeti water bottles.
Hmm.
So I would design characters, because I have a degree in graphic design that I never really used. But my dad's dream was, after I found out he died, I found out that his dream was to go into art. Like, that was his
Oh.
dream, and he couldn't go, he had to sacrifice it, because back in the day, that wasn't going to pay for, raising a family, right? So he had to let go of his dream and just go into accounting. And never in my life has he ever mentioned that he wanted to do art, or he had any interest in art. So when he passed away and I went through all his belongings, I saw his yearbook, and he was in the art club, and his yearbook quote was, "Art is not an end in itself, but a means of addressing humanity."
Wow.
So I was like, how can I do humanity and art at the same time? Like, what do I do? Like, and right around the time he passed away was when I ordered a Cricut machine. And the Cricut machine came in actually like a day after he passed away. And I was just like staring at it like, all right, what am I going to do with this machine? What can I do with this?
Mhm.
And I ended up doing vinyl art, which is like, layering of water, so I made water bottles for children in my son's class. I would ask them, me, what is your favorite character? And they would say Paw Patrol, or, like Chase, or Pokemon.
Mhm.
So I would say, what, if I make you this flask, and I add hashtag choose kindness on it, and can you do me a favor and like, do something kind for somebody else if I give this to you, okay? So that's how it all started, and I was making like hundreds of flasks. I mean, every single kid in the class had a flask with like a design on it, and I would take the time to like, just, I don't know what I did, but I layered it, each layer, on vinyl art, and I would coat the bottle with epoxy, so it would be like, sealed, and they would have their name on it and the hashtag choose kindness, and it would just bring joy to them, just to, some of them would just take such good care of it. It was just like my love for children and my love for art and my love for giving all combined at once, and that's how it started.
Well,
So yeah.
I remember you shared a story with me too about a mother who had a young son, I believe it was, that you did something kind for recently. Do you remember what that story was?
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah.
Would you mind sharing
And
that story?
yeah, it was, so they needed help with, I guess, speech therapy.
Mhm.
And, for, back then insurance wasn't covering the speech part of therapy. So I loaned this mother some money so she's able to get her son the therapy that, he needed. And, yeah,
That's awesome.
hopefully, my dad left some money for me, and with that money I choose to do, I mean, there's things out there that, you could, I was like, what would you do if you were given like money, or if you were to inherit money, what would you do with it? And I didn't know at the time, but I was like, I want to do a lot of good things. So we do a lot of fundraising. I donate to charities and hospitals, research for, Kawasaki disease. And,
Can we?
I choose to do good things with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about that too, because not only do you do incredible things, but your son does incredible things for
Oh, yeah.
your son Jasper, who I cannot wait to meet next time I come back to visit. But can you tell us a little bit about Jasper's story and Kawasaki disease in particular?
Oh, oh, yes, this is very important because Kawasaki disease is, there's a correlation between this and this thing called MISI, multi-inflammatory system in children. But basically, it's like COVID. But the 1 month later, you see these kids having these serious reactions to it, and it's triggered by a corona strain. It's an inflammation in the blood vessels that certain children with genetic dispositioning have this bad reaction to, like, a virus. So my son he came across the corona strain twice.
Wow.
Once at age 20 months and once again at age 4 years old. The first time he had it, we spent, I remember we had to spend Christmas in the hospital. So we checked in on the 23rd, and we spent 4 nights, 5 days in the hospital, and he was fighting for his life because, we didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was just saying that, like how much I appreciate nurses and doctors and healthcare workers, because these people are working through the holiday season, apart from their family, taking care and saving lives, and that's their priority. So I have this newfound respect for them, that like, that medicine that they put into my son actually saved his life, and but what Kawasaki disease is it's an inflammation of the body, like your blood vessels. So a handful of people or children, they have this bad reaction to, like, a common virus. And in the common virus is like a strain of corona. So Hawaii has the highest rate. I don't know why, but we have about 150 cases a year for Kawasaki disease.
Wow.
And yeah, and a lot of also a lot of African Americans too have a higher rate too than so it's the Asians and African Americans that have the highest rates. So it's a little scary because you have a 10-day window time frame to catch this and treat it in time. If you don't, what happens to the arteries is it balloons into like an aneurysm, right? So until it pops. So if you get it treated in time, it almost normally goes back to normal. But if you don't, which a lot of people miss it, they get aneurysms. You see children with have to have bypass heart surgery, and they're on medication for life. So it's a very unknown disease, but the more awareness we can spread about this, the more it's because it's preventable to if you catch it in time, it's preventable, right? And so far my son has, I kind of figured the first time he got it was with a playmate, and he was 20 months old at the time.
Okay.
And I remember that the playmate was sick with like runny nose, and I don't know what, like they're toddlers, so we didn't know what kind of virus it was, but I knew that the child was sick. And a few days later, my son started showing the same symptoms, but instead of recovering, his body just reacted in a way where it like attacked itself, the immune system. So he started breaking out into a rash, a fever that wouldn't break. He had red bloodshot eyes, and he broke out with it looked like roseola or measles all over his body.
Wow.
His hands turned red. He was fatigued. you know, swollen lymph nodes. He had the full blown symptoms of Kawasaki disease, all of it. So I was a first time mom. I didn't know what to do. I ended up calling the doctor, and they're saying just treat it with Tylenol, like, and see if the fever will break. If it
Right.
doesn't break, please call us again. So his fever lasted maybe like for 5 days, and as much as I tried to break it, it kept coming back, like higher and higher. And I was like, I need to take him to the ER right now. So
Yeah. That
I
must
think
have been
on day, it was scary. It was, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But luckily, when I did take him to the ER, we have a world-renowned specialist there named Dr. Marian Melish, and she specializes in Kawasaki disease. She's one of United States top 100 doctors. She's a Yale medical grad, and she's devoted her whole life studying about Kawasaki disease. So as soon as she took one look at him, she knew what it was, and she just admitted him, and he was being treated. So we were in the hospital. Usually we're in and out, but because the main treatment is called IVIG, he was resistant to it. So we didn't know at the time. It wasn't working. We're like, why isn't it working? And then they caught on to it. Maybe like, he's resistant. So they used the backup, which is called Remicade. And when he was given the Remicade, he almost immediately he started to like clear up, and
wow.
you could see him starting to eat again and talk. But our experience was spent that year. We spent Christmas in the hospital, which was very it was different type, different way to spend Christmas, but it was also one of the best Christmases I ever had, because I've learned, from seeing firsthand how hard the nurses and the doctors and the healthcare workers work throughout the holidays, just to make it a priority to put the children first and put lives first. It gave me a newfound appreciation for them and for medicine, and now I do whatever I can to try to support them, especially at a time like this when they're they're burning out, and like I'm trying to figure out what can I do to help them and make a difference. But yeah, he got it a second time at 4 years old.
Wow.
Which was very, very, very rare. The doctors told me I was more likely to hit a jackpot or lottery than to happen a second time. He only had 3 symptoms, which was very odd, because with 3 symptoms, it could be anything, right? It could be like a virus, but there was just this feeling in me, like, I don't know, the same feeling that I felt the first time. And I just told me, you know what, I'm just taking to the ER.
Yeah.
I'm just taking him straight to the ER. And when I did, he only had a fever, he had red bloodshot eyes, and he was fatigued. That's all. And so we spent hours and hours at the hospital, and they ran all these blood tests and everything, and then all these doctors are telling me, no, it's we understand you're worried that it's going to happen again, but all the tests are showing that it's just this virus.
Right.
And I was like, trying to tell them, no, I think it's something more, and I think it's Kawasaki disease. So can you please do something more than just before we leave? Yeah, instead of giving us. So I, for some reason, like, I'm usually not very, like, I wouldn't be defiant to doctors, especially because I have so much respect for them, but something in me just told me,
you have to be.
no, I can't go.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to be
So
firsthand. I've learned that you have to be either an advocate for yourself if you're the person being treated, or if they're treating a loved one, you have to be an advocate for yourself. And while I respect doctors a great deal and appreciate what they've done, there have been times where I literally had to say, listen, something is wrong, and I need something other than what you are telling me needs to be done to be done. And you have to be brave enough to speak up for yourself, because you are your best advocate, and you are the best advocate for your son or for your family member. You have to be able to do that. So I'm so happy that you did.
Yes, thank you. Yes, and that ended up saving his life, because somebody did come, somebody did listen, and they sent the blood samples up to the infectious disease specialists who caught, they saw something going on in his blood cell count. So they told me to come in the next morning for echocardiogram. We did, and they caught the 2 dilatations happening again in his arteries. One was just moments away from an aneurysm.
Oh my God.
Moments. So, like the world-renowned specialist told me, had I not done what I did, they wouldn't have caught it in time. So it just validated. I just broke down and I cried at it because it validated everything that I did. Like I was like, I thought I was gonna like hallucinating or anything, but
no,
for that, yeah. So I always tell people now, whatever you feel, like you're gonna know your child the best. You might not know medically, but
you know your child,
and you're gonna know yourself best,
and you
and
know
yourself,
your gut,
right? So,
right? You know your gut.
Yeah.
When you get that feeling, you have to listen to it. That feeling has never steered me wrong, and when I haven't listened to it, I've always regretted it. Like, why didn't I listen? So
yeah. So that's his story, and
amazing.
he's also trial medical. Oh, he's also, this is also a big thing. He's a clinical trial study patient, which means that they wanted to see if this new medicine that has never been used on humans before, if it would work. So I asked him. I said, Jasper, do you want to? You're going to be a trial study patient. Do you want to put medicine in your body? And he said, Mommy, is it going to help other kids like me? And I said, there's a very good chance that if this trial is successful, then yes, it will. And he said, okay, let's do it, Mom. So he did the trial study. He had to get vials and blood drawn every single visit. He had to take this thing called doxycycline for 3 weeks straight, and part of the blood that was drawn went to the clinical trial study, and part of it was preserved for future research. It ended up becoming a successful treatment today. So he helped pave the way to, because he was at 4 years old and he's like, Mom, I'm like, you sure you want to do this? And he's like, if it helps other people, yeah, he's all about helping other people.
Your heart.
So,
he has your heart.
Yeah. So I hope so. That'd be great, So I'm hoping, he paves the way to become the next future leader, he's got the love and the heart for other people. And, all I have to do is keep him healthy and safe. So one day he can be a leader, make a difference in the world. So, yeah. Incredible. But he's doing good right now. He's thriving in school.
And also, it's true that your son is helping to give back, just like you, following in your footsteps and doing things to help other children that are dealing with health issues as well. So can you please tell us about that?
Yes, he's actually a Heart Hero ambassador. So he represents the state of Hawaii for the Kids American Heart Association. So he shares his story and he raises awareness and money for the American Heart Association here in Hawaii, as well as nationally too. He does that, and he's also a participant of the Kawasaki Disease Foundation. He shared his story there too, and we do fundraising for them as well, and also with Pilani Hospital, our main children's hospital here in Hawaii. That's amazing. Sharing his stories, help raising money for them too. So yeah, whatever we can get involved with, anytime we are available, we share our story. I figure, he suffered. He doesn't remember it. I remember it for him, but it wasn't done in vain. If we can use our story to help other people, then there's something that good that came out of that, and if we can save people's lives by just sharing our story, then it's worth it. And he feels the same way too. Yeah. He always wants to help people. He's very empathetic. So I'm very blessed to have a child that has that quality in him.
Well, I feel blessed to have met you. I can't wait to meet your incredible son. But I want to let the folks know out there how they can support you and your son and your initiatives of hashtag Choose Kindness, and also any of the work that your son is doing to help give back to the Hawaii community as far as Kawasaki disease and also as a heart ambassador. So how can we support?
I guess just research and educate yourself about Kawasaki disease. The best form is to, know ahead of time what to expect because of it's such a time crucial to catch it. For parents, I think to know about it or to at least be aware of what to look for is something that you can save your child, just to be aware of it because time is valuable and, getting them treated in time is life-saving.
Absolutely.
You can also go to www.kdf.org and you can support them there too. That's Kawasaki Disease Foundation or the American Heart Association. In general, I think everybody knows what American Heart Association is, but it does help not only people with heart disease, but also with diabetes. It helps a range of people.
Right.
So, yeah.
I feel like the information that you shared was very valuable. I'm grateful that there are folks in the world like you that have hearts that are generous, that just want to give back and help other people and share stories so that other people can have an easier go at this thing called life that we're all trying to figure out. So thank you. And thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I know that there's some big waves that are waiting for you, so I won't keep you much longer, but I'm so appreciative of your time today. Thank you, Janna.
I'd like to also thank you for sharing your music and your, music is healing and it's inspirational and motivational. So what you've put out there for me to listen to has inspired me to want to do more. So please keep singing and doing your thing. It inspires people. Music, the ocean and the stars, are all things that we can lean on for healing too. And inspiration, and you have a very beautiful voice. Very beautiful. So thank you for sharing what you did. I was like, I got some jams now. I can jam on the boards.
Yeah.
I can
and I just have to come back to Hawaii and get back on your surfboard, your paddle.
Oh yeah, we'll jam together.
Yes, and we'll jam together. I'll try.
You have a remix too, right? Is there a remix version?
Not yet.
There's one that's a regular one. Oh, okay. Because my son was saying, "Oh, this sounds like he's like this one is a remix one." And I'm like, the same song.
He's giving me ideas though, so I can do a remix. Make sure
Yeah.
Straight to him.
Yeah, he loves it. He jams to it too. I see him bobbing his head in the background. Oh, okay.
That's so awesome.
It's very upbeat. That's why it keeps us positive. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to talk to you again, and I'll start planning my trip back to Hawaii very soon.
All right, sounds good. Aloha. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Sun Spotlight. To find out more about Kawasaki disease and to find ways where you can help support, please visit www.kdf.org. To keep up with me and all that I'm up to, you can follow me on Instagram at The Real Charisma, on Twitter at Real Charisma, and then head on over to my website, realcharisma.com, where you can stream and download my latest single, All In. While you're online, be sure to like and follow the Philadelphia Sunday Sun on all social media platforms. I'll be back next week at noon on Thursday, and I hope to see you there. Until then, love and light, and remember to always choose kindness.